Omo. Oh God, these senators, House of Rep members, all of them. So they active like this. I wish now this day they carry Nigeria matter for head. The country for don't make sense now. They will vote and go there, all will go they put money for pockets. Now the policy now of CBN now they are fed them. They talk now. Because you are fed them, every day they talk. If you not affect them, you don't will hear their mouth. I swear, you don't will hear them. You don't hear they say they talk anything. They will talk on my side. Because they are fed them, money where the thief go hide. They don't know how they don't use the money. So how you know they cry come out say make the CBN governor go shift the date to July after election. Yes, after so when the ban they kill people, fuel dey scarce now. They not talk. Fuel dey scarce, they not talk. Ban they kill people, they not talk. See this answers that they when happen, they keep people in here. They not talk. A lot of things they happen for the country. No, they don't they talk. So now because of this naira matter, now the design of the naira and the deadline date, all of them come the verse, they come they talk, make the shit. I like what the Buhari talk, but say no going back. Oh, so that deadline day, now be the deadline day. Make the beer, I mean, I see as we said they suffer for the country. And make the beer, that money will rot for their hand. That's so it be. No going back. Now so, more try. Make the beer, make the come. Let's say I see everybody they face for the country. The matter even made Tinubu first when go rally that day for Ogun State. Tinubu no keep person. Baba no keep person. Baba no keep person. Baba even provoke for there. They provoke. They try to hold Baba. Baba calm down. You know, Baba provoke. Say making followers. May they go collect PVC. May they vote out this government. They vote out the Buhari government. Because you know, Baba, now your party. Yeah, I say me, he say me they leave me they leave and me they around talk. They around talk. I beg. You watch this video, Baba the verse. So.
Wọ́n sabotage epo. Wọ́n sabotage epo. Arepo. Àlépo. Arọ́gàdà. Arọ́gàdà. Àrítràìsáìbù. Àrítràìsáìbù. A máa lọ dìbò. A máa wọlé. A máa dìbò. A máa wọlé.
We told you earlier, they think they can cause crisis by sabotaging fuel distribution. Whether there is fuel or not, whether motorcyclists walk or not, the election will take place and we will win. Let them hoard the fuel, let them hide the naira. We will vote and we will win.
Wow. Another drama begins in the House of Stock.
Thursday morning, we thought usually it gets quite dramatic on the first day of the week and then it begins to ease as we get into the weekend. But of course, this is election season, so you would expect one day, something to talk about. But this is quite major, we find, Dr. Abati, because yesterday we had spoken quite extensively on the CBN governor's statements following the MPC, two-day MPC meeting. And when he had said that come 31st of January, after that, the 1,000 naira notes, 500 naira notes, and 200 naira notes will no longer be legal tender. And we all know that since this announcement was made in October, in terms of the redesigning of the naira notes, there have been quite a lot of drama. And I spoke about this yesterday, including, the CBN governor being chased after, as it were, by the DSS, seeking an injunction to arrest him, a court injunction, expert order to arrest him based on what they called anti-terrorism, allegations. And then we asked the big question: who is after the CBN governor? what has he done that is making some elements a bit jittery in terms of what are the policies that he's made, which are within his his purview as CBN governor, backed by the CBN Act, that is making some people to shake? Why are people afraid of the redesigning of the naira, despite the merits that have been highlighted again and again? One of such is also towards the elections, to curb vote buying. And recall that even when it was debated in the House 2 days ago, Senator Biodun Olujimi said, "Oh, let's look beyond the elections. Let's focus on Nigerians and how this policy will affect Nigerians." So now let's go back to yesterday's rally in Ogun State at the MKO Abiola Stadium in Ogun State, where Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the presidential candidate of the APC, is said to, we've heard it directly said in Yoruba, and thanks for the translation, saying that despite the fuel, holding of the fuel, despite the redesigning of the naira or even holding of it, they will still win. So let me ask the question that came to a number of people are asking, following this his statement. Number one, who are the powers that be? He wasn't specific, was quite vague. He said the powers that be. The last time we checked, and that's fact, the powers that be currently are members of his party. APC is the ruling party. Number two, the powers that be, the Minister of Petroleum is who? The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Indeed, yesterday, it was announced that we spoke about the fact that he had instituted a 14-man committee to look into this fuel scarcity that has persisted since October of last year, despite promises and efforts by, NNPC, complaints by Moman and the likes. It has still persisted. So that's the first question. The second question is that how does the redesigning of the naira or the unavailability of naira affect his particular campaign or the presidential election? We have 18 presidential hopefuls. Why is it only the APC presidential candidate that is worried about the redesigning of the naira and saying that it is an act to sabotage his campaign? That's a question that he must answer, actually. Why is the fact that there won't be, this push for a cashless policy in the country? Why is it affecting his campaign so much? How does the redesigning of the naira distract from him being president of Nigeria? These are the questions that we should begin to ask when they make statements like this. We must pay close attention to what is being said and what is not being said. We call 2019 elections. He hasn't yet answered, at least to a satisfactory manner, to why there were 2 billion vans that drove into his Bodilon home. Is this an election based on money? Now more than ever, we must, as Nigerians, understand the importance of this policy at this point. The need for it to be on the 31st of January, the importance of ensuring that during this election, it must be the people's will and the people's choice, not induced by money, that would vote in the next president of Nigeria. And so we will continue to have conversations like that. Let the presidential candidates keep on speaking. The Nigerian people are listening. But Governor Godwin Emefiele has said, and it remains sacrosanct, go and deposit your old notes. Come 31st of January 2023, it will no longer be legal tender. 1,000 naira, 500 naira, and 200 naira. And kudos to the Central Bank of Nigeria for the efforts they are making to ensure that they are taking this message to the hinterlands of the nation, to ensure that the cash swap program, the sensitization program, they are having massive campaigns in these areas to ensure that they are able to deliver come 31st of January 2023.
Okay, I've been in this business. If they like, let them not give you fuel. If they like, let them change naira design. These are policies of the Muhammadu Buhari administration. This was a case of the presidential candidate of the APC criticizing the chairman and leader of his own party. This is just the simple truth. And he was unequivocal about it. And he told his audience, they want to scuttle this election. Will you allow them? Is it that it's in possession, right at this moment, of all the coercive instruments of state? You can only scuttle the election if you have a negative mind with the coercive instruments of state. Because the coercive instruments of state are not supposed to allow anybody to sabotage the election. And those coercive instruments of state are in the possession of the APC. Revolution. the same massive revolution that he promised in 2015. He led the campaign. He said he put President Muhammadu Buhari there, and they promised all kinds of revolution, 1 naira to $1. We have not seen that revolution. So what is the guarantee that, okay, the revolution that is promised to off the mic? Well, if anybody does not want this election to hold, it cannot be the opposition parties, whose main ambition is to take power from the APC. So he says they don't want the election to hold. He didn't identify those people, but he's probably talking about members of his own party. And of course, the PDP has responded to say that, look, this candidate of the APC is getting desperate because he doesn't seem to be getting the support. A statement issued in Atiku's name says the candidate of the APC is criticizing the president of his own party. And what further evidence do Nigerians need? Okay, what I've tried to do is to just give a general description of the embarrassment that constitutes. One final point, and it is as follows. I hope that the handlers of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu would find a way of making sure that he doesn't go to Abeokuta again before the election, so that he doesn't do further damage. Because the other time that he went to Abeokuta, that was where he was doing Olule, Lekne, Olule, criticizing President Muhammadu Buhari, right? And Dino Melaye, trying to reenact that the other day in Delta State, almost missed a disc, so that we don't have, all kinds of accidents because of gaffes. So maybe they should keep him away from Abeokuta, because he went to Abeokuta again and he has delivered this bombshell again, criticizing a government that he himself said he brought to power. So I don't understand this kind of self-contradiction, this kind of self-sabotage. And, others will stretch it further and say all kinds of things. But I think, as a talking head analyst on television, I should just leave it there before, they say, oh, we were being misrepresented. There's no misrepresentation here. All of us listened to what he said and we saw it. And even when they say you should off the mic, he didn't off the mic. And all the people around him laughing and all that, we should bring to question their own sincerity. Are they talking to their candidate? Are they guiding him appropriately? Are they setting him up to fail? So it's not enough for people to just come and make noise and claim, we are in charge of this, we're in charge of this. Can people just apply basic intellect?
Dr. Abati, where do I even start? Okay, let me start from what I said within the week. 23-24, the Royal Ayeje. But sure, Masha was there yesterday. Orombo, Irong Parofunro, Ikembe case, that's how politicians are. So don't get lost in their shenanigans. When their interests don't align, they will abuse each other. Mr. Bola Tinubu now could abuse President Muhammadu Buhari because it's obvious there's friction within their camp. Their interests don't align. And there's reluctance. And that's why you see the first campaign President Muhammadu Buhari made for Bola Tinubu, he said, don't vote fraudulent people. And there was a back and forth reaction as regards that. But Dr. Abati, let me answer your question quickly before I start my analysis. You said, why is it that all of this used to happen in Abeokuta? I'll tell you why. In 1859, a certain British missionary called Henry Townsend started up a newspaper in Abeokuta called Iwe Iroyin, which is said to be the first newspaper, which is the forerunner to Nigerian journalism. So Abeokuta in this campaign has become the Ile Iroyin. That's why we are getting juicy gist out of Abeokuta. I'm just being cheeky there. And like you said rightly, the famous Emilokon speech was made in Abeokuta. And this one in Abeokuta. Long live Abeokuta. Egbawa, Dr. Abati. Let me move on by saying that it is just indicative. And please, I will make some inferences. It is a confirmation that President Muhammadu Buhari has failed Nigerians. And I'm happy Bola Tinubu alluded to the fact that President Muhammadu Buhari has failed by saying that artificial scarcity are caused by those in the powers that be. And President Muhammadu Buhari is petroleum minister. So when we tell their surrogates that there are indications that people have failed, people should also know that President Muhammadu Buhari was said to have failed by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the presidential candidates. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu has also berated President Muhammadu Buhari. But I'm not surprised, because you see, if you get hoodwinked in this their joke, you will miss it. You don't paro funro. The reason why they are fighting now is their interests do not align. And people around him are also playing him. This is the biggest advice he will ever get. They are playing him because of the money for our country. And it has to be said that what we want for our country will determine how we treat our country.